It's Bourbon Night. Hello, I'm Chad.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah, we have a celebrity bourbon, but don't call it a celebrity bourbon because they don't want you to call it. What do we have?
We have Sweetens Cove.
Yeah, so
It is and it isn't. I mean,
they don't want you to call
who's
it that.
they?
Sweetens Cove people.
That's what they said?
Yeah.
They told you that?
They told me that. Well, they didn't tell me that.
You called Peyton Manning.
I didn't call
and
Peyton.
he told you.
I didn't call Peyton Manning. You wouldn't answer the phone. But from what they say, I was going to say distillery, but it's source, the group is that, Peyton Manning and Andy Roddick and these people aren't on that much, advertising. Mm-hmm. They're kind of putting them in the back.
They want to just be the backers.
They're involved, but don't call this a celebrity bourbon. This is true, real stuff. And man, what a story. Hey, this cork pop is brought to you by...
Literally brought to you by...
a
patron.
One of our patrons, Clay. So thank you, Clay.
Thank you, Clay.
For helping us get this bottle.
Nice pop.
Okay.
This bottle's got a lot going on. There's some etching on the cork. It's got this ribbon. It's got this little map on the back. It's pretty cool.
So I guess let's start with the important stuff, the Bourbon Facts.
The Bourbon Facts are, it is 13 years old.
Yes, made up of 100 barrels, or at least, 100 barrels were the start, and then Marianne Eaves, formerly of Woodford Reserve and Castle and Key fame, blended this together.
But not all 100 barrels went into this blend. So
Correct.
I think the story is that they came across, and I don't know how you come across, but however they came across,
they tripped and
100 barrels.
There's 100 barrels,
right? Of Tennessee bourbon.
Aging in Kentucky.
So they were like, "Yep, we're taking you back to Tennessee," and had her come in and do some tastings. And I think from that she was able to group, 5 different batches that she would blend together, and then a couple that really stood out as single barrels. So
right.
From what we've heard, there will be more coming. Like, this is a batch.
Yeah.
Source undisclosed. Do not know that.
I was reading an interview with Marianne Eaves on the Whiskey Wash, and she said that 4 of the 100 barrels were so exceptional that they could stand easily on their own as single barrels, which later find out that those will be coming out. So, yeah, this doesn't comprise all 100 barrels. It's probably a lot less than that. But of it, there were 1,400 bottles. So not a lot. Okay, so it's not... It's not a question of where it's sourced from. This is Dickel.
It's yeah.
Unless
my nose is completely wrong today. When I picked it up, I don't know if you noticed, I gave the camera a little look. Is this Dickel?
It has a very signature Dickel nose.
But it's not, it's like related to what I'm used to nosing when it comes to Dickel, like the
Ooh, look at those
notes
legs.
the notes
Lots
that I
of
would
legs.
pick up on that normally, but it's not exactly that. So I could see how it would be, distantly related, but maybe not exactly
So
what I'm used to.
yes, the buzz on the internet is this going to be another Dickel Bottled and Bond, which is also 13-year-old Tennessee bourbon.
This is 101.4 proof.
And barrel strength. Yeah, a very low proof for barrel proof. There, cask
You're
strength.
right. It does say cask strength.
Yeah, so maybe these barrels had a low barrel entry proof?
Really low one.
Don't know. But yeah, I'm getting that Dickel nose.
Just a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's a different type of nut than like your Jim Beam or your Heaven Hill type of nuttiness.
It's kind of walnut.
It is kind of walnut or walnut butter,
Walnut butter?
Mm-hmm.
I never had walnut butter.
I don't know. It's a thing.
Is it?
It's like peanut butter, but made with walnuts. I don't know. But that's what I'm smelling. Because it does have a smoothness to its nose, you know what I'm saying? So that's where
But also,
like the
a
butter.
little bit of citrusy in there too.
There's a zest, I'll give you that.
You'll give that to me?
I'll give you that.
Okay, well, I'm not going to give you walnut butter. I bet it exists. It exists somewhere.
It's a give
I'm
and
sure.
take here. Come on.
If they make
You gotta
almond butter,
Gotta give me something.
I'll give it to you.
I can say, comparing this to, your stereotypical Dickel nose, this smells a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better. And
I mean,
we should also say we're not experts on the Dickel line
Right.
at all. We've had limited experiences, but
Limited
from what we've
experiences.
had, they've also seemed to be in that wheelhouse.
it just seems like, I mean, we could be totally wrong. But okay, let's taste it.
Yeah.
It's got some heat. For 101.
Yeah.
That is some character. I'll tell you what, not so much if the Dickel comes through.
You're right.
On the palate. A little bit at the finish with like a little bit of a dry
It's got a nuttiness
to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need a minute with this. This one's a thinker.
There's a little, there's a little twist there at the end. I don't know what's going on.
So what is Sweetens Cove?
All right, so Sweetens...
It's an interesting name.
Yeah, there's still more story to go. So Sweetens Cove is a golf course just outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's a little 9-hole course, gravel parking lot. There's not a pro shop. There's not even, from what I understand...
You just kind of got to be like in the know.
Indoor plumbing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sort of like a little diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Like it's made, top 100 lists as best golf courses. And it's like this...
Like a best kept secret kind of a...
And it's a 9-hole. Most best golf courses are going to be 18 holes. They're going to have an awesome, pro shop and clubhouse. This doesn't have any of that. It's
overrated.
It's like a shanty town, like little place. And on this makeshift bookshelf, there's these bourbons because some way or another, it became a tradition. Before you tee off at the first hole, you take a shot of bourbon, and then people would leave their bottle behind for the next people coming through.
That's kind.
So fast forward to this group, which is where Peyton Manning and Andy Roddick and Jim Nantz and others, they were like, well, hey, let's kick it up a notch. What if we made our own bourbon? Because this has become such a tradition. So then that's where they started, and they got Marianne Eaves involved because she was actually born in Tennessee. I think it might have been in Chattanooga. Can't remember. We'll just say Tennessee. She grew up in Kentucky, but she has that Tennessee connection. So we're like, oh, it's just meant to be.
Yeah. What I think is interesting about this story, though, is that I think when you hear about this, they'll be like, well, Marianne Eaves did it, but she was pregnant at the time, so she had to spit it out. I'm like, but if you've met any master distiller who's got 100 barrels to deal with and needs to blend them, they're spitting it out too. So it's not like it's like a duh.
Something else interesting about the fact that she was pregnant at the time, she since had her little girl, which is awesome. Yeah. Congrats, Marianne. Is I heard on a podcast that either while you're pregnant or right after or while you're breastfeeding or something like that, you're sensing a sense of taste.
Because you're supposed to be able to pick up on anything that could be harmful.
Is expanded. Heightened. There you go.
There's a lot to unpack here.
I'm getting like an espresso finish after the second, and man, it's giving, well, I have to say Tennessee hug. Tennessee stored in Kentucky hug. On the finish after the second sip, I'm getting sort of like this espresso type of note there.
Yeah, it's like it's sweet, and then quickly into like the toasty wood, dark char notes. And then that's, I think, when the dryness starts to come in. There's like a little bit of coffee. Yeah.
The palate, it seems really, I don't want to say mellow, but it's very smooth. There's not a whole lot jutting out like flavor profile wise. It just seems to be the initial palate is real, just like approachable and not too harsh. It's really the finish though, where the heat starts to build. It starts creeping down into the chest feels.
Which again, for 101.4, I'm like.
Yeah. And then that's really where the bourbon starts to speak, is on the finish.
There is a nutty quality to that.
There is.
It's like a dry.
Slightly savory, honestly.
Yeah. I would say it's like dry, unsalted peanuts, like toasted.
Just trying to see if we had to make notes because there was so
There's so much story here. We made notes.
We got our information mostly from the Whiskey Wash article, and then also one on Esquire by Aaron Goldfarb, who started out saying, like, you can't call this a celebrity bourbon because that seems to have a negative connotation, and he was saying that this is extraordinary and therefore cannot be put in the box of, hey, this is a gimmick.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, I think some people just see celebrity bourbons come out and or like celebrity spirits, and they're just like, okay, now you're just using your name as a brand to capitalize on a product to get more money.
The product is the secondary thought.
It's like when people talk about like, oh, I won't even say her name, but like certain celebrities have certain makeup products and people are like, oh, it has that person's name on it, I'm gonna buy it. And it actually turns out to be not that great of a product.
Right.
Okay, from that standpoint, I hear where he's coming from though, because I think sometimes when you can, it can be synonymous that their name on it means that it's probably not that great. They're just resting on the fact that people who are fans of that person might pick this up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. It's not just for Peyton fanboys. This is for a serious bourbon drinker, as I think kind of in the realm of what he was saying. Now, here's the thing. We haven't said this either. Celebrities, limited barrels.
Very limited.
13-year-old aged barrels. But then you have the argument of, hey, there's that $50 Dickel bottled and bond, 100 proof, almost this proof.
I mean,
13 years, also $50. This, $200. And
but it's Peyton Manning.
This one is a thinker, though. I'll have to say that Marianne, I feel like,
warmed up.
did a great job with the blending. I mean, this...
It's got a lot going on. Like, as I sip it, more unfolds. Every time I think I've got it down, it's like, it changes a little bit. And I'm sure this is probably one that, as we leave it open for, a few weeks or a month, it's going to really... I think it's going to change and open up a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we give it our final verdict, we want to tell you about whiskyambitions.com. It's our home on the internet for things such as t-shirts such as these, Glencairns and water glasses such as these. There's also rocks glasses, challenge coins, and more always coming soon at whiskyambitions.com.
You can become a patron at patreon.com/itsbourbonnight and join in our community and conversation. Who knows, for as little as $1 a month, you might be lucky enough to try to track down a bottle for us. No. I'm just kidding. That's not why you become a patron. We do patron-only podcasts, after the episode exclusives, and so much more.
That's right. I drank all mine. I probably didn't give myself a big enough pour. Maybe I was like, this is $200. Just
it's
put
okay.
a little bit.
You may have some.
Oh, thanks. As we said, this is sort of something that develops, and we've ran into bourbons and whiskeys like this before, that develops the more sips you have. Usually about the second to third sip, you're good. You've kind of got it figured out. This one seems to be even on the fourth and fifth. You're like, hold on, I haven't exactly put my finger on this bourbon yet, which is a good thing to say about it. It does have, for something not described as being so approachable and just very smooth and not jutting out too much in the flavor profile, it is pretty complex.
Yeah.
Which is a little, what do you call it? A juxtaposition or a oxymoron? Not an oxymoron.
No, you had it right the first time.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Man, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how I feel.
You feel fine.
I was like, what? There's a lot of factors to consider with this one, I think. Like, do I want to piss off Peyton Manning? I'm totally...
He'd be like, chicken parm, you taste so good. That's what he would say.
Oh, yeah.
Think we could get him to come on the show and be like, it's Bourbon Night, I love your shows.
Oh.
Peyton?
No, I don't think
he'll do anything.
He's gonna do that.
But we don't have the money to pay him.
No,
so.
he's definitely not.
He's not. Well, I'll say this. A lot of curiosity around this bottle. So very glad to have tasted it and to have formed an opinion on it.
Yes.
Now, nitty-gritty time, $200. We actually had to pay a little bit more. It wasn't exactly at that suggested $200 mark. Recommend or not?
This one's tough.
Who is this for? How about that?
This is for someone who likes to collect rare things, who probably also has an interest in some of the celebrities / not celebrities behind it, or a golf lover. I think everyone's always like, I need to get a great gift for my father-in-law. Blah blah blah.
What's the best Father's Day gift?
Father's Day gift. My dad loves golf and bourbon. Hey, I found it. It's here.
Most dads do love. At least golf.
Right? They love golf. I think this is not for everyone because of the price point, obviously. I think that it could make a great gift, or like we were just talking about, like special occasion type of thing. If you're super into Dickel, which we think this is, but not 100% sure. Maybe
you've been to the golf course, you love the golf course, because people do come from far and wide to play at this, little diamond in the rough.
So the reason I say that is a couple of reasons. I think that what's inside is good. I like it. Again, if this is Dickel, this would be my favorite thing I've had, by far.
Agreed.
By far.
Yes.
Very tasty, super complex, really interesting to sip on. I'm enjoying it. However, that price point is hard to swallow. But I think because it's limited, I think a lot of people don't have to ask themselves whether or not they're going to buy this. It's whether or not you have the chance to buy it. Do you want to spend that money? And that's why I'm saying that I think it's for these people who it actually would mean something to. So
I completely agree. If you're just wondering, is this the next hot thing that's completely worth $200 and should be chased, I'm going to say no. Here's kind of my bar. Dickel bottled and bond 13 years, $50. Do I like this 4 times more than that? Actually, I might.
I do. I like this 4 times more.
You know what? Yes, I do. Absolutely. Probably even more because I did
more than 4 times.
Not enjoy that.
I like this 10 times more.
Very divisive bottle. Some people loved it. Other people were like, what is happening? So in that fact, yes. But I wouldn't pay $50 for that bottle. So what would I pay for that bottle? I don't know. Maybe 15. So then it the multiplier?
Right.
I don't know.
Again, we're really going all in on this idea that this is somehow sourced from Dickel. It may not be. I think that that the stuff that we've had from there before just hasn't been super up our taste profile alley, but we do know a lot of people that like it. That's why I think if like you're into that, this might be for you. I think like if that is something that you really enjoy, then I think this is probably for you.
Agreed. I think this is for not only the collector of, as you mentioned, golf, football with the Peyton Manning connection, just bourbon in general. I think it is for the bourbon collector.
Right.
If you want to have one of every type of bottle out there, yeah, you go ahead. You already know. You don't even have to.
You already know.
ask.
We don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
You already want it.
If you're like, is this worth $200 worth of bourbon? Probably not. Maybe in our opinions. I would put this more at, if you see it at a bar for a good price, you should try this because this is different. Maybe you have a bad opinion of Dickel or maybe a great opinion. Either way, I think you should try it because this might.
You try it.
Either way, it might change your mind or be like, this is my most favorite Dickel, if it is Dickel.
If we don't know.
That I've ever had.
Marianne, you did a good job.
Marianne, you did a good job.
Good job,
Good job, Marianne. Yeah, you did. Do I think it's going to be something that's going to crack into our best of 2020 list? No.
You know what?
I don't think it will.
At this moment, I'm going to say maybe not. However, I'm interested to see how it changes over time.
Yes, and I'd love to try it blind. No, it is definitely a change of pace, and I did enjoy it. It's only when it comes to that, would you pay that price again?
Is
Am
when
I
I'm
like, yeah, probably won't have that opportunity to buy another bottle anyway, so it doesn't matter. But so there we go.
There we have it.
That's where we'll leave it. If you haven't subscribed to us already and like to do so, you can do that by clicking right up here. There's suggestions of other videos right down here. We hope to see you over there in those. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad.
Okay. Until next time, drink more bourbon.